Okay, so I'm just gonna record a draft with commentary, and this is just gonna walk through more of a example draft of how I draft this set. Um, and even if you don't agree with the picks, and some of the picks are probably going to be wrong, um, it will be helpful for you to just watch and see my approach. Okay, so we start with a pretty weak pack. Overall, there's like two cards I'm looking at. I'm going to start with Flame Braider for sure. Um, Assert Perfection is the other card in the pack that looks good. The main difference is that Flame Braiders are just a much higher ceiling card, even though Assert Perfection is more likely to make my deck in the end, and probably more versatile. The difference is just Flame Braider, if you have an Elementals deck, it's just the best 2-drop you can hope for in the set, really. And looking at the other card in the pack, there's a Gristle Glutton, which I think is fine as some archetypes. There's Blossom Bind as well, and there's Pummeler for Hire, and the rest of the cards I'm not really interested in. So I'm happy on the Flame Braider, maybe I will something. It's one thing to note that Surly Farrier is a red-green card, possibly. It's not an archetype you want to end up in, but it's a solid salvage archetype. Okay, so then this is a very straightforward explosive prodigy follow-up. If you start with Assert Perfection, you'd probably link it with the Informant or the Mismeta Council. I think that's a different draft strategy. This one, I think you want to take the more powerful cards to start with. So yeah, very happy to Flame Raid, and the Prodigy is a great pickup. The Assistance is something else to look at. The Protective Response is also very good. So there's two very strong green commons, a great white uncommon, and a sort of blue uncommon. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. For one of these wheels, I mean, they probably won't, but that tells you a lot of info about the table. Okay. Yeah. Now this is an interesting pick. So it's between you might be tempted to try and just take like another red card and stay in color. Like the Stratosaur is pretty solid. But I think you can't really pass up on really strong Merfolk cards. The Duelist is pretty much a bomb, so you just have to kind of snap it off. The thing to know is that like it's a pretty strong signal. I mean, it means that like it's very unlikely that people on your right are in Merfolk or took a Merfolk card to start with. There's a couple, maybe the blue champion, and they can take over this. It's maybe one of them, but definitely not both. So that's telling me that there's definitely a chance that Merfolk is open. And okay, this is like a really interesting pick because you can take basically second Prodigy or Pyrrhic Strike, and both cards are great. I'm leaning on the Pyrrhic Strike, I think, but I'm actually not sure here. So what information do I have? I have the Mero Sky Swimmer that I pass. If I pass the Pyrrhic Strike, I'm sending like a pretty strong white signal. But if I just pass the Prodigy, yes, that's a strong pack 1 pick 5, but I might leave it as an isolated pass. I'm going to lean on the Pyrrhic Strike to just follow up with this Deep Channel Duelist, even though these two are good to start, and that's a strong signal. It's just because if I don't pick this up, I probably don't have an opportunity to move into blue-white. Okay, and like this is the reward for it. If I take Prodigy, I can still take 6. I'd probably still take 6 command. But say it's a medium blue-red card and a slightly better blue-white card, I'd probably take the blue-red card, and the ceiling on my deck is lower because of that. This command is pretty decent. It's not a bomb or anything, but it pairs super well with the Deep Channel Duelist. Like, that's the main card that pushes it over. So I'm picking it over the guys with me here for sure. And seeing these two in the pack as well tells me, like, okay, well, there's a strong Merfolk signal here. So I'm pretty much just going to close my eyes and draft that now, I think. Very confident in that signal. There's another card coming. Pack 2 might be a little bit interesting. given what we've passed. I think I'm taking the Tributary Vault, but I'm thinking about the Unexpected Distance still. Both are solid. This one kind of wants me to be more combat focused. This one, if I end up in blue-red, possibly I play. But I'm just happy to take this. Okay. So I'm not a big fan of Imbuer in Merfolk. It's fine. I'm just going to take the Liminal Hold as just a solid card here, but I don't really want any more of this card. Probably will play like a couple, but the deck is the format is kind of about creature density, like high cost of creatures. So you don't really want to have non-creatures too many. The first Short Lurker is okay, I can play that. Glamour Mite's quite weak, so I'm just gonna lean on the Merfolk here. Okay. I don't know if I have the deck for the Nomad. It's quite weak, but if you have like a high convoke density, it can be okay. There's really not much else though. There's the combat trick, but I think I'd rather have this as kind of a more higher ceiling card. I'll just take this as well and just cut base white cards. Okay. Oof, that's painful. Yeah. So now I'm just thinking if I can take this under flock. I don't think I want to, but maybe it's forced. Just an incredible card. But it doesn't really hybridize well with the white stuff. I guess the only place I can play it is kind of a 3-color deck. I have a Pyrrhic Strike, Liminal Hold, Stratosaurus, so technically play up to 5 cards that I've started with. The Protective Response is pretty solid, but I think the Thunderflock is just too much better. Though I don't really want to pass that up, but this spot I'm definitely happy to take the Deep Way Navigator. Okay. So it's between this and the Sky Swimmer. I already have like enough non-creatures, and I passed a couple of these earlier. I think I want this card more, to be honest. So the main reason why Well Guard or Cleansing, I don't really like the Well Guard too much, but it's best sure like your curve kind of wants to be low. Yeah, so the reason why I passed the Protective Response over the Thunderflock is that like I think the non-creature spells in blue-white are quite replaceable, and I have the premium removal spell in blue-white and another solid one already. That it's going to be kind of easy for me to pick up like a Temporal Cleansing or another removal, and then I hit the 4 removal spells that I'm kind of looking for in blue-white. So sacrificing, even though it's a solid card, Protective Response for Thunderflock, that's not a big cost. Okay, the Spite's just a really good rate card here. Happy to take it. Clackham Festival is also pretty solid. Blue-white card. It's actually like a nice card in best of 3 if you're playing against a grindy deck to just sideboard this in, or just grind them out. Okay, I'm happy taking the Peddler here. So I'm not really looking at this card. The Timid Shieldbearer you can play as a one-off. I'm not really looking to splash. I can't have enough density. I'm having some Merfolk typal cards. So I'm still going to try prioritize Merfolk when possible. Sing this with Kamal, it's fine. Maybe Aquatex Defense is fine, I think. It's filler, but it's not the end, it's not the worst thing in the world. I know some people like the Cerebrin in blue-white. I personally haven't tried it and the stats are kind of weak, but maybe I'll try it here. Okay. Everstrike Gift as well. I think it's a reasonable Kithkin card if your deck needs ways to push damage. Okay, very happy to take the lock better here. That's nice. Strategy Store I don't really want. This is kind of my curve. This is the maybe board. This is the non-creatures. I'm probably playing the short lurker to be honest, the first one. Runaway Together is also, I guess, that can go to maybe board. That's a fine Merfolk card. Especially if you have more like flash elements like Glamour Gifter. Synergizes nicely with that card. It works with this one. Okay, wow, this is great. The Nuisance is amazing. And we follow it up with a Lockmare. So now I don't really remember how many blight cards there are in white and blue. Aside from Furic Strike, but we probably value those up a little bit. The Reiterate is also great there, but no way I'm passing those. Okay, very happy to take the Wonderwine Preacher as well, which is another Merfolk, super solid card. The Crescendo I don't need. It's fine. Like sometimes you end up playing it, but that's more if your deck is a bit mopey and doesn't really have ways to push damage. But that's not really important for my deck here. Okay, I finally get the protective response here. Yeah, Runaway Together is kind of also why I didn't take this card, pack 2, pick 1. Because again, even these cards that are like super free to pick up, they're fine in this deck. Like you just need some amount of interaction. Okay. So pick up another Sky Swimmer. And this deck's just looking really good at the moment. So I don't really want the cleansing. It could be the 5th non-creature spell. I could just about get away with it, I think. So I'm going to take it. There's nothing else in the pack. Okay, the Unexpected Assistance is fine as well. So at the moment, I'm going to be playing the Timid Shieldbearer. A little bit light on creatures. I would have liked to have a couple more. The Crib Swap's super bad. Maybe I end up playing the down card. We'll see. I'll come out the maybe board. Guess it's fine to just take this out of the pack. Okay, so I'm fine playing another Timid Shieldbearer. Actually, the Personifiers, by the way, also is pretty reasonable blue-white card. Like, don't sleep on it. But in this deck, I just want to have 2-drop creatures. More creatures. I'm a bit light. And I have like cleansing and stuff. I think blue-white is also best just built as a tempo deck. So you need to have curve and creatures and not be too high on non-creatures. So just building the last couple cards. I'm at 1 drop, 7 2-drops, which is pretty much perfect. There's not enough Merfolk for my liking, but in this draft we didn't really get a choice, so that's the thing, you just got to work with what you get. I think I'm happy to play 23 lands, or 17 lands, I mean, 23 cards. With mana things like Clackham Festival, Timid Shieldbearer. But I often do, and Lockmare as well, I often do play 16 lands in this archetype. So how many creatures are we looking at now? So we're looking at 14. So we can go up, double Reluctant Down Guard. I mean, this card is pretty weak. I played 16 land. I could play the Gold Meadow Nomads. Maybe I could play Wickermore as well on 16. Just not really what I want to be doing playing weak cards like that though. If I was in the draw on best of 3, I would sideboard into that, by the way. Don't really want any more creatures. Probably, if you count this as a creature, maybe. Another unexpected system would be fine here as card flow. I can play this Saliba in, to be honest. I probably need another 3 drops, so I'll just play the down guard. So how many Merfolk am I on? 8, which is okay. I have some super good tempo elements with cleansing, response, being 0 mana, Ferric Strike, liminal holders, hard removal, and I have a lot of power here with nuisance, lockmare, and some duelist. So yeah, overall I'm pretty happy with it. The draft, and this gives you a little bit as well overview of the deck building that I would do. In terms of sources, I think 8/8 would be okay. It's kind of even between the two. Nuisance kind of wants you to be one more higher on blue, but your base of 2/3 drops are kind of white based. So I think I'd be more likely to keep a hand with only white cards, not blue cards. So that will lead me towards a 9/8 split. My curve is super low though. These are all convocable. So even with 2 shield bearers, I'm still probably pushed towards this, and maybe I can play Nomad as well. It's just too weak. I guess it's fine with double shield bearer actually. Yeah, anyway, I mean, yeah, it's close enough. I'd spend a little bit more time thinking over the last few cards, but hopefully that helped.